Yeah, what's going on, people? What is going on right now in this crazy world that we live in? Am I right? Am I right? Thank you for pressing play on this episode right now. This is the Milo Podcast. Bing bong, number 27, motherfucker. Alrighty, we're about to kick this bitch off. You feel me? You hear that? Did y'all hear that? Yes. I can't believe how far we made it. Can you believe how fucking far we made it, mate? Mate, we've made it so far. We've made it further than 500 Olympic marathons back to back. We've made it further than the distance between the moon and the sun doubled. You know what I mean? We've just made so much progress. We've made it so far. This journey just feels like an endless task that we've all taken on. Especially you guys. You've taken it on even harder than I have. Like, I barely even know that this journey exists. I'm sort of like just a vessel. I'm sort of like the vehicle for the journey, and you guys are the ones who are experiencing it. Because I don't really experience anything. I don't really have any thoughts or feelings about anything at all. Like, most of the time I'm just sort of like coasting through life, just like by chemical reactions type thing. Like, sunlight gets on me, I move away to the shade. Or my belly gets hungry, then I got to put sugar inside of it, you know? Or whatever. Like, my blood alcohol levels get too low, so I got to up it with some more cans of beer, you know? Like, it's nothing like emotive. I'm not all like, man, I really feel like this. I really want to do that. I don't really have like desires and hopes and dreams or anything like that. Like, I don't have no agency. Yeah, I'm just like a wild animal. I'm like an insect. Because I think that some animals, they probably have deeper intellects. Like, I think some animals probably got some deep ass thoughts inside of their brains. Like, they, well, maybe not that deep. You know, they're probably not that deep. But I think like some animals have got some kind of like self-reflection or whatever. Like, they have some insight. I think some animals have some insight into their actions and the things they do, but not me. I'm just like a robot or an insect. Like, insects remind me of robots because they just react to stimulus. They just react to the environment like robots. They act like, I feel like insects just, I don't feel, I just know that insects, they're sort of like binary creatures. They're just, like a series of switches that turn on and off, sort of like a light. If you were standing inside of a big concert hall and you had like a switchboard of lights in front of you and you could just flick them all on and off at once, then that'd be a pretty cool light show, and the audience would probably be sitting out there thinking like, what the hell's going on here, man? Is there a problem with the lights? But no, it's just you or me, whoever it might be, live until they're 23 and their name begins with C. So yeah, I'm out here drinking this beer, bruh. It's a pure blonde. You know that. You already know that. Don't need to tell you that because it's what I'm doing, bruh. You already know it, man. You know deep inside of your soul, you know the things that you need to know, and I know the things that I don't need to know. That's why I'm so dangerous, because I got these thoughts stored inside my brain and I just don't need them. But like, if anyone else found out that I had them, then I'd probably be like, you know, euthanized or whatever. Put down like a vicious animal, like a dog in the shelter. That is what I'd be like, because my thoughts are so crazy. My thoughts are so dangerous. No one can experience these thoughts but me. If I transmit my thoughts to you via verbal vocalizations, or if I wrote them down with like the alphabet arranged into different words with spaces between them and like, you know, punctuation and stuff like that, then you would be able to read those thoughts, and having that knowledge would just be probably too much for the average human being and make the skull cave in on their brain. But it's a brave new world that we live in, people. We live in a brave new world. Like, the world is so brave, and it's also new, and it's newer than the old world, and it's braver than that old coward world that we came from. Am I right? Yeah, we'd be living in a world of brave people and no cowards. Some people so brave that they shoot guns, and they shoot guns at important people. Duh. I'm talking about assassinations. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to talk about a lot of things, but I'm starting it off with the greatest assassination attempts of history. The greatest assassination attempts in the world. Some were successful, some were not successful. What's the word for that? Foiled. Some were a failure. Some were, they didn't come to fruition. It's probably because the people, in those cases, it's probably because the people were too retarded to know how to kill, or they didn't have enough support from their friends circle and like their social networks and stuff like that. Like their social support network was just not there for these people to pull off their desired kills. You know what I mean? Little Jimmy be out there like, hey, I want to, I got a plan to murder the King of England or whatever, and his family and friends would just be like, oh, no, mate, it's just a dream, mate. You're living in a dream, mate. It's never going to come true. Don't chase your dreams. That's why they call them dreams. Duh. Just go get a job, work 9 to 5, work 5 days a week, and then get a side hustle and start working on the savings so you can put a down payment on a house. Duh, that's the real reality. Duh, you can't go shooting people and killing them. You can't do that. And that's probably the number one reason why these people failed, because they didn't have friends around them to co-conspire with. Co-conspire. They didn't have friends to conspire with, co-conspirators. They weren't there. Let's take the most recent example, the crazy man, that crazy, very ugly guy. Looks like a total nerd. Apparently got bullied a lot in school or some shit. He looked like a mutant alcohol, fetal brain, retarded idiot guy. Apparently got no pussy at all. This dude got no pussy, and he decided to kill President Trump. That's what he decided to do, right? This is the most recent assassination that's gone down. There was actually some other ones, right? There was one in Japan recently where some Japanese dude, was it Abe? Did he get shot and killed? I don't know. The Japanese dude got shot, right? Did he even die? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Japanese man got shot. Who else got shot? Oh yeah, no, he didn't get shot, but some president of I don't know. Was it Croatia or Spain or I don't know, man, maybe Antarctica or some shit. His helicopter went down earlier this year. That was just last month or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that wasn't an assassination attempt that we know, but maybe it was. Maybe someone on that plane was, and that helicopter was just like, nah, man, I've got to take the course of history into my own hands and plow this thing into the fucking ground, right? All the rotor blades and everything, the top blade just spinning and smashing into the fucking rocks and the debris and the back propeller, which helps the helicopter move left and right, I guess. Just in a fiery mess of rubble on the ground with twisted metal and broken bodies that are just burning in probably someone trapped inside of the fucking... Who was that president that died, man? I don't know. Can't remember. It was like some country no one cares about, but anyway. Yeah, that's what happened. Their president died, and I guess the former president of the USA nearly died yesterday. Donald Trump. What a character, am I right? Look, I'm not a leftist, and I'm not a rightist. I'm a dirty, unforgivable, unlikable, hated centrist. I'm a centrist. Because I hold left-leaning... I hold legitimately left-leaning values and beliefs, and I also hold legitimately right-leaning ones. I know, shock horror. I don't want to make this podcast all political. Let's get back into the... okay, hang on. Maybe I do want to make it really explicitly political. That's what I want to do right now. Some of the left-leaning beliefs that I hold is everyone should have free money. There should be no borders, and I want free stuff for everyone, free food. No one should have to work, and... What else? What else do I believe? We should import as many malnourished, underprivileged losers into the country as possible, right? That's what we should do. And some of my right-leaning beliefs are all drag queens are groomers, and free guns for everybody, and lock down the border and keep out all the dirty paws, right? It's hard being me because I live in this political space right down the center, where the right wants to pull me to the right, and the left wants to push me to the right. Because that's my impression. My impression is the right is recruiting. The right wants to recruit, and the left, they want to push anyone that's center toward the right. That's my impression. But I'm really not, I really don't feel like I am strongly inclined one way or the other. If someone were to ask me, I'd probably tell them that I was full of macaroni with cheese, and if the only way to get that out of me would to boil up a Kraft single and see if you could pour it on top of a Subway sandwich and flip it into the goalposts or whatever, you know what I mean? Do a backflip on the trampoline and slam dunk it. That's the only way to really determine what my beliefs truly are, if they're left or right. Look, I'm a nihilist. That's what I am. I'm a total nihilist. I don't care. I don't care what happens on this fucking earth, man. I just don't care. I don't care if Biden stays in power for the next 4 years. I don't care if Trump regains it. Anyway, look, I've raved on too much about politics, man. Like, as you can see, I'm really, really politically active, and I really care so much. I've got so many strong values that are just really well thought out, and I've got so much evidence to support them. Duh, right? All of my beliefs are backed by science and facts. Duh. Yeah, you can't catch me without a fact, Jack, because, I've got all kinds of stats to back up the things that I stack, like my paper. But yeah, I'm thinking about the greatest assassinations in history, and I'm like at the top of my list is the time that Cleopatra was assassinated by Leonardo DiCaprio. That time that he had to draw upon the Secret Service hired him. The Secret Service of Afghanistan hired Leonardo DiCaprio for this highly exclusive mission that excluded everybody except Leonardo. And he just got off of set with Claire Danes in Romeo and Juliet, and then he was scheduled to do The Boys, and he just did a bunch of other crazy movies, right? He's a Hollywood star. And so I remember that he was hired by the Afghanistan Secret Service, the ASS or the ARS, to perform an assassination on Cleopatra in Egypt, the Pharaoh girl, Queen Cleopatra or whatever, right? She was a queen, she was a pharaoh. I mean, she slayed, and she dragged too. She also dragged other queens. So that's what they did, and this is the facts as we know them. Leonardo was picked up off of a oil refinery, sucking out of the ground station that's in the ocean offshore of Afghanistan, right? That's where the Secret Service Black Apache helicopters came down from Afghanistan, the Secret Service. And they picked him up and they took him over to Africa or Egypt, wherever that is. I think it's in Africa somewhere, right? And they dropped him off somewhere outside the Pyramid of Giza. And it was really hard because these helicopters are black. And I don't know if you've ever seen Egypt, but it's full of sand and sky. So naturally seeing this big black helicopter thing drop him off right near the Pyramid of Giza was a bad idea. But it's Afghanistan Secret Service, man. They're total arse. What do you expect? He sort of jumped off the helicopter. He didn't have time to use his parachute, so he just jumped off and looked for a camel to land on. He landed on a camel. And then from there he was like, shit, I got to find a local. So he took the camel and he was riding the camel until he went to he saw a tourist or some shit, or he saw a local guy. He saw a tour guide. And then he beat the tour guide down when the tour guide was on his own, on his lonesome. He dragged the tour guide around behind the camel, slit his throat, and stole his clothes. This is really, looking back, this was an excellent way for Leonardo to blend in with the crowd, right? Jumping off of a Apache black helicopter thing, a Black Hawk Apache or whatever, helicopter with blades on it, and then land in the desert on a camel, and then steal the tour guide's outfit, because no one suspects a tour guide. Nobody suspects a tour guide, and everybody trusts one, right? So then from there he went and he had to sort of slip and slide his way through the Great Pyramid of Giza, but the thing is, so it's pretty dark in there. The place is only lit up by mirrors, and by now, in the year 2000 or whenever this happened, a lot of the mirrors were all dusty and probably on the wrong angles or whatever. The flames had all gone out. In the darkened hallways, the pathways into darkness, if you know, you know. But eventually he found his way inside of the secret chambers, and he was invited to, the people that were inside the secret chambers were mostly malnourished slaves that they kept in the secret chambers, and they were tired of Cleopatra raining down her brutal reign, forcing the slaves to build more pyramids or whatever. And so they aided him. They gave Leonardo some much needed food and water, and they gave him an assault rifle as well, and they led him to the secret chambers inside of the secret pathways, and then everything was a big secret. And then he secretly murdered Cleopatra with an AK-47 or whatever. He burst out from behind the secret wall, was like, yo, shot her to bits. And then he was like, fuck, what do? I've got to escape this pathway and the guards, the pathways of darkness. And then the Pharaoh guards were beating down him. They were coming down with spears and stuff, and they had dog heads and shit. They were wearing full Pharaoh stuff. They were looking like Stargate characters, right? They were looking like Teal'c from Stargate. They were looking like the gold They were looking like the gold, coming with their serpent staffs and their fucking crazy ass snake head armor and whatever the fuck, dog armor and all kinds of animals, right? And then they're coming after him, and then so that he was like, fuck, what do I do? So he snuck into the shadows. He tried to get through the secret path, and the slaves were like, yo, come this way, come that way. I'll show you. Let's get Leonardo out of here. So he managed to find his way out of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and like everyone was like confused. Like all the pyramid guards were like, what the fuck, man? Where'd he go? What happened? What do we do now? But then he was standing out. So we all remember this part, right? This was written down, and this is the like most verifiable fact of history, is that Leonardo was perched outside the gates of the Great Pyramid when suddenly he felt a large like earthquake type thing trembling in the ground. And it was the Sphinx. It was bearing down, and like the Sphinx was not happy with it, man. The Sphinx had got up on its hind legs, and it was like walking towards him like a crazy ass fucking, I don't know, what's something that walks on its hind legs? Like circus cow? I don't know, man. What do they train? Circus tiger? They make them walk in their hind legs, don't they? And that looks also like the Sphinx. So it's this lion, that circus lion. He was walking on his hind legs, he's like, Leonardo, why have you done this? And then Leonardo was in a lot of trouble. So he had to quickly set off the nuclear bomb. He pulled it out the back, and it was like 2 bits of chewing gum, like a blue bit and a pink bit. And if you mix them together, he put them inside of his mouth. You mix them with saliva, and then you compact it all. And then like you can only chew it for 10 seconds. So he quickly chewed it for like 5 seconds until it was just like slobbery enough to stick to the Sphinx. And he spat it at the Sphinx like the craziest piece of bubblegum through a pea shooter you've ever seen. And it went up the Sphinx's nose and blew its head off in an atomic reaction. That was one of the greatest assassination attempts of all time, but there was also the one where Lisa and Sandra tried to assassinate Haley. And they succeeded, and that was really good. Haley was there in the lunchroom, and then Lisa and Sandra were like just bitching, right? They were having outside in their smoke break, and Lisa was like, hey, Sandra, what do you think about Haley? And Sandra was like, I fucking hate Haley, Lisa. Thank you for asking me. What do you think we should do about this? And Lisa, one of those two girls, was like, yeah, I think we should murder her. And so they went into the lunchroom, and they picked up one of the knives from the kitchen, and that's what Sandra did. And then Lucy picked up the gas bottle from underneath the cooktop burner thing, the stovetop thing. And then they stabbed Haley and bludgeoned her to death while no one was watching, right? That was a really good assassination attempt until it turned out that Haley had survived the horrible attack, and she went to the police and dobbed them in. Duh, no one likes a snitch. And the police told her to get lost. They said, fuck off out of here, man. No one likes a snitch. So Haley had to seek revenge, but she was like bleeding, and she had like half her skull was caved in. So what did she do? I think that she went to she got a bunch of her friends, and she went to the local PCYC where they formed a big gang, and then they went down to her workplace to try and kill Lisa and Sandra, get their revenge. But by the time that they made it there, Lisa and Sandra had already disappeared. And then that's the real mystery of the whole assassination attempt, is that no one knows where they went to this day. Some say that they were just hiding out in the lunchroom and they didn't get seen by the mob. Some say that they went down into the sewers to start a new civilization underneath the ground or whatever, you know. But that was a really good assassination attempt. That was one of the best ones. When I think of like the most historic assassination attempts that have ever happened in the history of mankind, the Lisa and Sandra versus Haley is the big one. Like that one goes down in the history books. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I guess that's just a quick brief of the greatest assassination attempts in history. Probably the top 2. They're my top 2 favorite ones anyway that I know off by heart. I know most of the facts. I know most of the things and everything about them. I've been studying all this shit like on YouTube, man. I've been studying on Wikipedia and YouTube, just like watching scary, interesting, and Mr. Bolin videos, just like filling all my head with the nothing but straight up facts, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I became to become so intelligent. Duh, is I'd be watching YouTube and reading Wikipedia and scrolling on Twitter, watching for violent videos and like I don't know threads. People post a thread and they put a little cotton reel there so you know it's a thread. That's how I educate myself. Why don't we make it a top 3 though? Let's make it a top 3. There was the time that Bob Burnquist, is that his name? No, Chad Musker. Yeah, there was a time that Chad Musker tried and succeeded to assassinate Tony Hawk, and this was at one of the World's Extreme Games events where they had skateboarding. And Chad Musker is famously a street skater. He's got mad grinding, on-ground techniques and like tricks that people never seen before, right? Like he does stuff that people not ever seen, isn't he? Doesn't he? Isn't that what he does? And so he was like, he prepared himself in training for 100 years, trying to like be the street skate champion, doing all kinds of grinding on stairs and rails and jumping gaps and like trying to, just be like, do whatever he can with whatever was around him, right? Like he's a situational type of skateboarder. If there was pots and pans, he would skate on them. If there was like a big field of glass, he would go and skate on that and figure out tricks for that or whatever, you know what I mean? But he was preparing and training and he was doing all his stuff, and he showed up to the big Extreme Games events, which I think was in 1998 in September the 10th. And this is where Tony Hawk was making his debut as a skater, and everybody knew him already from his viral videos and stuff that went crazy, like on Vimeo. He was like his videos went crazy on Vimeo, and so people were already talking about him on Twitter and talking about him. Like people knew about Tony Hawk in the underground, but he wasn't officially recognized by like the extreme sports officials. So basically, like Chad Musker knew that he was prepared for the tournament, but the day that he showed up, he found out that was totally all like about verts. Like it was all about jumping tricks and like, ramp tricks. It was all about ramps and stuff, and Chad Musker wasn't prepared. So he had to assassinate Tony Hawk to become first place in the tournament or whatever. And so like I remember this is what he did. I was there when it happened. He loosened all the bearings on Tony Hawk's wheels on the skateboard, and then he sort of like also put a lot of nails in Tony Hawk's skateboard underneath where his feet would go. And so then he did the old switcheroo, and Tony Hawk was up there on the vert and he was about to do the 900. That's when his feet went straight through the nails. The nails pierced his feet, went straight through like Jesus Christ, but upside down. Did they actually nail Jesus's feet? I can't remember. They nailed his hands. But that's what instead of nailing Tony's hands, they nailed his feet to the board because the nails were already in the board, and then he stepped on the board. And then he tried to do the 900 with bleeding feet because like he was so determined, like he was got blood everywhere and his feet were fucked up. But he slides down and he comes up the other side of the ramp and he started spinning around like 900 times. People were there counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spins, 7 spins, 8 spins, 9 spins, and he did the 900, the first ever 900. But then as he landed, the wheels of his skateboard fell off, and they splattered everywhere. They shattered. And all the debris went into the faces of the crowd. And that's when like one of the people there was there with his daughter, and the debris went into the daughter's brain. And so the father of the girl who just died pulled out his shotgun and blasted Tony Hawk in the face. And that was all part of Chad's plan, and because Chad Musker gave the shotgun to the guy. So yeah, that's what happened. But has there been any better skateboard tricks than the 900? I don't think anyone's ever invented a better trick than that. Like spinning around 900 times seems to be virtually like impossible unless you were there to witness it, and then it would be possible. As long as people were there to witness it, it would be possible. That's how quantum physics works, right? Like once you observe something, it changes reality. So yeah, if there's enough people there, maybe if 900 people were there to observe Tony Hawk on the vert ramps, he'd be able to spin 900 times, or at least you'd have 900 different people experiencing the one spin. So that's basically the same thing, right? Same thing, same difference. But yeah, it seems like there hasn't been a better trick than the 900 ever invented. So like, I would really like to see skaters of today do a bit better. Like I saw some 13-year-old kid do the 900 the other day, and everyone was like, "Wow, 13 years old and doing a 900. He's the next Tony Hawk." And I was thinking, yeah, but wouldn't it be better if he was the first, whoever he was, rather than being the next Tony Hawk? Why didn't he invent the 1200 or invent the whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like some kind of crazy ass trick. Like the worm, the electric worm. That would be a cool name for a trick, where you're grinding on a rail and then you get tased by the cops and then do a kickflip into the back of the police van. or a police car, you know what I mean? And then they put you in handcuffs. That'd be a cool trick. Or why don't they do like any kind of new trick, like the solar eclipse? That'd be really cool. Like you go up the ramp and then you put your board between you block out the sun with your board. And then all the cameras can't take photos. All the cameras got to take photos of you with your board up there like that. And it sort of looks like a skateboarding eclipse, but you're doing it with your board, right? Yeah, the solar, whatever. What was that called? I can't remember what I called it. The solar eclipse, is that what I called it? Yeah, that's a good skateboarding trick. Or any number of tricks. How about the pallet of bricks? That'd be a good one. What would that look like, though? That's when you need to jump down a big set of stairs, at least 10 stairs, and you got to land inside of a swimming pool and full of sharks. That's what you need to do. And if you survive that, then you are really, really good. You'll probably win the tournament. You'd probably win the tournament. That's what you'd do. But what else? So skateboarding is really good. A lot of people skateboard. It's really hard. I used to skate when I was a kid. I probably said that before in this podcast and was never any good at it. Could jump down some stairs, could do the occasional kickflip here and there, could also do a little bit of grinding. But I was total ass. My friends were way better than me and I was shit. And I felt really bad. I practiced really hard, man. I practiced on the skateboard a lot, like after school all the time and on the weekends and stuff. But I was shit skater. That's me. Shitty skater Milo. He was a skater boy. He couldn't even skate. And everyone said, fuck off, you can't.
Pull up and hop at the ship. Pull up and hop at the ship. Yeah. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit. Blast through space galactic. Crash land on distant planets. Doing things you can't imagine. Spaceman made it happen. Autopilot automatic. Running on battery acid. Chewing shrooms, that's magic. Got your rooms with a smirk. Barely breathe as I chirp. Tuning in to the static. I'm an addict and I'm at it. This is more than just a bad habit. Always on the dub, I guess that I'm fanatic. Can't bite my tongue, I'ma let them have it. Don't see me coming, can't know my tactics. Step onto the scene, so cinematic. Black and white film, spaceman, only watches classics. A lot of people mad, acting so dramatic. Running rings around and make them look like spastics. All about the action, got the world spinning on its axis. This is an abstraction, a simulation. Ask Maxis, ask who? Ask Maxis. The whole world is a stage and we all just a bunch of actors. The fact is, in the matrix, we're controlled by different factors. Spaceman isn't slacking, working with the laws of attraction. Moving at light speed, but I wanna be moving faster. With the belts fastened, teleport with the weed, that's the only thing that matters. Spaceman is so high, I don't need a ladder. Jumping at the gym, I'll break the rim, and the backboard has just been shattered. Oh my god, Spaceman, you're the baddest. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit. Pull up and hop at the ship. 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 Spaceman's on my shit.
Welcome to the Milo Experience.
So I had to give up skating, and now I don't skate anymore. I'm like fucking 34 years old. I'm about to be 35, and I don't skate. Isn't that a shame? But I'm taking up all kinds of new hobbies like chess. I'm doing the chess thing now. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, YouTube started serving me chess videos, and now I'm mildly interested in chess. First, I got sucked into the drama of it all. Like, there was one top player who's the greatest in the world and probably the greatest in history, and there was this other guy that basically came through, never played a game of chess before, and what he did is basically hold the entire fucking tournament to, like, at gunpoint, right? And like, he blasted away some of the audience members, and he was just trying to, like, you know, he basically solidified himself as a grandmaster right then and there. You know what I mean? But like skating and chess is pretty similar stuff, I would say. Like, you know, in skating you have to really outnumber your opponent and like think of mad strategies because you're getting attacked at all angles. And like in chess, you got to flip the pieces around and like slide them across, you know, whatever the rails, or, you know, put them inside of a swimming pool to a bowl or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're very similar. And like the thing is, like, skateboarding's got all these tricks with all these cool names, and so does chess, man. Chess has got heaps of tricks. Chess has got, I mean, strategies or whatever. Like, it's got everyone knows the Queen's Gambit, right? Everyone knows what the Queen's Gambit is, thanks to the TV show called The Queen's Gambit. That was about chess players. I haven't actually seen it. I might have seen one episode at my grandma's house or something. I think that's what happened, but I haven't seen it, right? But there's all kinds of like, you know, there's different ways to open up in chess, and you'd think that there was like a finite number of ways to open, but there's actually infinite ways to open. And so there's endless ways to open up your chess. First, like, you can use a can opener, you can use a pair of scissors, you can use a crowbar if you're trying to open up. You can even use like sort of like electronic signals to try and open it up, or a password. Keys will often open it up as well. When you're trying to open up the first moves of the board, yeah. You got to take them out the fridge and at least reheat them in the microwave. I'd prefer it if you put it into a preheated oven. That's the best way to checkmate someone, is to put it into a preheated oven. You can put it in an oven with like, and then turn it on. You can put it in the oven first and then turn the oven on, but it just takes a lot longer. And who's to know what's really cooking on the other side of the ether, man? It could be some, you know, felonious individual over there who's thinking way outside of the box and trying to strategize his pins and needles through the sewing center and into the, you know, the public toilets or whatever. So that's the thing. You got to really become familiar with the different types of like, not just strategies, but game plans, or like ways of thinking, like individual human thought patterns. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. And you got to use your will. You got to assert your will over the willpower of others. So it's really a battle of wits, a battle of experience, and a battle of intelligence. And sometimes you can come out on top. Sometimes you've just got like, you got a trap card that you can activate, or you've like, I don't know, you got some kind of secret CIA earpiece, or even someone is telepathically planting thoughts inside of your brain to help you overcome those obstacles or whatever. You could be out on the obstacle course and like shrapnel can be flying, grenades, bombs, landmines, other soldiers with like fucking a rook, some knight shooting from the crossbow tower or whatever it is, you know, into the depths of hell where you're trying to drag yourself out, because it's burning and it smells like sulfur and brimstone and fucking other burning, cavernous fucking shitty ass crap down there or whatever, like in this just big underground cave of fire and burning flesh and melting pits of lava or whatever. And it's hard to escape, man. It's hard to escape. That's why you just need a grandmaster to lift their hand down, to shove their hand down and pull you up into the light, pull you out of the depths of that sewage fucking infested pit that you're in, like, you know, underneath the septic tanks of a fucking toilet or some shit. That's where you're at. And you got to try and wade through the shit and find a nugget of gold in there. You know what I mean? It's all about the nuggets of gold. Some of the greatest chess players: Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann, Kasparov, right? Or I don't know, man. I don't know anything about chess. I'm just saying names. But I think one day soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see my name up there, because I'll be pursuing this, man. I'm doing all kinds of, like, I'm being experimented on, and they're putting chess enhancing chips into my neural link. So, like, I'm going to soon enough, I'm going to basically be like a artificially inseminated fucking cyborg with a brain capacity of 50,000 terabyte hard drive. And the processing speed of 50 computers. I'm gonna be unstoppable. I'm gonna be computing every single move as it happens in real time, and then I'm gonna compute even more moves that happen before they happen, and that they happen later. I'm gonna think of them before they happen, and then I'm gonna pull out all of my big collection of soft drink, empty them all out into one big glass, and drink it like Badlands Chugs, man. Shout outs to Badlands Chugs. So yeah, and I don't feel bad being a beginner. I feel like I'm going to make some real leaps and bounds like a rabbit or a deer or a kangaroo. I'm going to be bounding through the outback scrub, over the rabbit-proof fence, into the oasis or the billabong, right? I'm going to fight the yowies and fight the bunyips, and I'm going to drag the corpse of my lover out of the ground, and I'm going to caress her half-rotten head. Only then will I finally have the closure that I need to quell the evil of the land and allow relieve the mysterious curse that's been taken over, not just my soul, but the souls of many, man. You know, like it's like, I feel like that I'm the key in all of this, and I really need to do some crazy like questological type stuff to restore peace to the kingdom, and that's the only way it's going to happen. That's the only fucking way it happens. So I think that just about does it. That just about wraps us up. I think that just about is the end. I think that's about it. The end of episode number 27 of the Milo Podcast. Ping pong, ping pong. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you are listening on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment saying ping pong or saying hi Milo. Do that now. Leave a comment now. Leave a comment on YouTube now. Like the video, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, like the episode. Follow the podcast on Spotify and do all the nice things. Make sure you share the podcast and all that other kind of bullshit, whatever the fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for joining me today, episode number 27. Next week, I will see you in episode number 28 of the Milo Podcast. Ping pong, ping pong. But until then, have a great life, man. I really hope you achieve all your goals and that you can report back to me with some kind of status update for the better. You know what I'm saying? Peace.